God was leading me and helping me lead others. And I let that all go away. I let a petty quarrel, just a petty quarrel between another human being, come between me and God. I've said to my wife 1,000 times, it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same. And I got mad and I said, it's never going to be the same. And it wasn't. And in that moment, I opened a door. And I let a monster step into my life. And that monster's still behind me. A lot of us have a monster behind us. It may be a different color. It may have a different shape. But it takes the same form of addiction. I opened the door and let that in. And I look back at what Jesus said in John 15:1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away as a branch and dries up, and they are gathered and cast into this fire and burned. Jesus didn't do that to me. I did. I did everything within my power to jump into that fire, not this fire. Trey is absolutely correct. I was ready to pull the plug. I was angry at the world. I'd already been through Ridgeview and it didn't work. I already went through Willowbrook and it didn't work. I was at Tanner a year before that and it didn't work. And I realized it wasn't those things that didn't work. It was me that didn't work. It was me who had shut Christ out of my life. It was me that shunned the relationship that I had with Jesus Christ and opened the door for that monster to jump in and grab me and shackle himself to me and drag me down. It was me that sat in the chair wallowing in self-pity, self-deprecation, self-loathing. It was me that sat there and did that. And I blame God. It was me that profaned the memory of my father and my grandmother just this last January. And I blame God. It was me that let down my mother who was entrusted to me when my father passed. It was me that let her down, and I blame God. It was me that risked a 33-year relationship with a godly woman, and I blame God. In Galatians 5:7 it says, you were running well. This is me right here. You were running well. Who stopped you from obeying the truth? This persuasion did not come from the one who called you. And it did not. God had no part in the things that I was doing. By rights, he should have cast me into the fire and let me burn up. I'm the reason Jesus hung on the cross and died. I'm the reason he suffered. I'm the one that put him there. I don't deserve any salvation that he could possibly give me, but he does it anyway. I don't deserve to be here. My family bet the farm. Instead of punching out and going her way, they bet the farm. And I didn't even realize that. I was willing to waste in those first couple of days, I was willing to waste every opportunity I had. Now, like I said, it should say under reconstruction up here because I'm still broken. Some of y'all may remember that day that we were in there with Taylor, and I was angry. I was yelling at God. I was saying, why don't you come into my life? Why isn't the Holy Spirit moving my life? You said you would do this. Why aren't you doing it? And it wasn't him. It was me. It should have been, why am I not letting you in? Why am I not inviting you in? Why am I not letting you work in my life? It wasn't him not moving. It was me not understanding that he was moving. It was me not feeling what he was doing in my life. It was me that kept him shut out. And then comes good landing. Thank you, Trey, for not running me off. I realized the thing that I was missing was faith. I realized the thing that I was missing was the thing that I had shut out. I realized that that monster that I was feeding was of my own making. It wasn't God that was letting me experience this trouble. It was me choosing to experience the trouble. It was me feeding that addiction, feeding that problem. And as I said, it was just wallowing in all that. But since I've been here, I've had a revelation. And that revelation was what I just told you. And Jesus is working in my life. And Jesus has started me on a new path. And Jesus is giving me a ministry. I don't know what it is. For once in my life, I'm going to wait and see what door opens. And now, when I look back at that monster, it's not him I see. When I look back, I see Jesus. In Proverbs, I can't quote it exactly, but it said, we stumbled and we fell, and our consequences were our pain. And we cried out, God help. And he did. And I'm living proof that he has, and he will. But I'm also living proof that you have to embrace what it is that he has to give you. You have to seek the path that he has for you to walk on. And you have to have your soul, your heart, your mind open to the work that he wants to do in your heart. And that's all I got.